BCD Travel has partnered with TripIt, an online technology that helps road warriors organize and share travel plans with colleagues, friends, and family. Better yet, it has lots of time-saving features for those of us who book travel for others. TripIt will organize and streamline your travel itineraries, keep track of friends and colleagues on the road, and incorporate meetings, meals, maps, and weather in a single master itinerary so travelers can be more prepared and productive when on the road. And all of these services can be accessed online or on your mobile phone. So how does it work? It's easy. If your company has made the service available, you can have your BCD Travel itineraries automatically sync with your TripIt account. Ready to get started? Either look for the TripIt link on your next BCD Travel itinerary, or your company may prefer to direct you to TripIt via the travel section of your corporate intranet. Simply access your established link and register, or sign in if you already have a TripIt account. Once your account is established with your full business email address, you'll be prompted to grant BCD Travel partner access to this account. Initial setup is that easy. TripIt then sends you an email verifying your email address and asks that you log in to activate your account. Just follow the link and sign in. Your account is now active. Within 30 minutes, your BCD Travel itineraries will appear, and future travel book with BCD will automatically be synced with TripIt and kept up to date, even as plans change. Now inside the system, let's take a look around. TripIt has quite a few features that allow you to easily share information about you and your travel plans with colleagues, friends, and family. It also provides features to ensure that you're in control of what information is shared. Let's take a moment to review the Profile On-Off area where you control all of your privacy settings. The About You section gives you the ability to customize what personal information will be visible to others in your public profile. Here you can personalize photos, your naming convention, link your account to a social networking site, and add additional email addresses. The email address listed here is how TripIt recognizes you. It also controls the accounts that can add trips via email to plans@tripit.com. Be sure this contains your full business email address so TripIt and BCD Travel systems recognize you. Also feel free to add a personal email address to sync up vacation plans. Trip display information can also be adjusted here. Things like date and time formatting for all the trips that are imported. Publishing your data is also an area you'll want to review. Auto posting can be established here, both within the TripIt network and with other social networks, like LinkedIn. Some people choose to keep their travel information private, while others find this is a great way to gather information or share stories about common destinations with their friends and colleagues. If you don't want your travel plans widely known, don't link your TripIt information to outside social networks. You can also choose to keep your basic travel plans public, but hide individual trips with a private label. More on that in a little bit. It's also important to note when you are sharing your travel plans, you're sharing your travel plans in general, the location you're traveling to, not your exact travel details. Email settings let you establish the subscription or communication parameters within TripIt. One more important setting is your profile visibility. This area allows you to make your profile public or private. It also controls what information is viewable and to whom. Please take time to adjust these settings, especially who your TripIt information will be shared with. You can share it with everyone, all those within your social networks, both within TripIt and those that you've linked to, or select no one if you do not wish for your travel plans to be shared at all. Users of TripIt Pro, TripIt's premium service, will also see a travel alerts area. Let's take a look. With TripIt Pro, SMS and email triggers can be established for all of your trips and can update you on cancellations, delays, departure summaries, as well as gate and schedule changes. You can also link your mobile phone to the SMS feature. This is just one of the enhanced features of the TripIt Pro service. We'll cover a few additional features in a little bit. Now let's focus our attention on the trip data. We'll do this by navigating to the home page. TripIt's homepage shows you upcoming trips, a personalized travel map, updates from other TripIt users in your network, and travel stats. Navigating to the Trips tab, you will see all of your upcoming travel plans, as well as travel information shared with you by people in your network. You can sort these trips by all, Traveler, Not the Traveler, and also view your historical trips. Trips booked with BCD Travel will be tagged with a BCD Travel tag. Personal trips booked directly with an airline, hotel, or car rental company can be added by forwarding confirmation emails to plans@tripit.com. Make sure the email is sent from your corporate email address or another account registered in your TripIt profile. You can tag any trips in the TripIt system as private, and they will not be shared. This is a great way to make sure all your travel plans are in the same place. Let's take a look at a trip in detail. We'll select our NBTA trip in August. This trip, booked with BCD Travel, is a great example of all of the travel details that can be included in a TripIt trip. This trip starts out with air, a sedan transfer, hotel details, as well as driving directions to the hotel and a map of the Houston area. All of this detail was booked by BCD Travel and forwarded to TripIt on my behalf. For items booked outside of BCD Travel that you want to include, you can either add those manually or forward the reservation detail to plans@tripit.com to have it uploaded to your account. Here you can see I added a dining segment manually. Now back to the top of our trip detail, let's review how we add plans. Simply click on the Add Plans link within the trip. Here you can add flights, lodging, car rental segments, as well as activities, meetings, directions, or notes, just to name a few. Each will be listed in order based on the dates and times you enter into the system. For travel arrangers or assistants, adding these types of items arm your traveler with trip details stored in chronological order, all within their one travel itinerary. And if you make changes to any of the details within TripIt, your traveler will have the updated information, literally, instantly, in the palm of their hand. Once again at the top of our trip detail, let's look at some of the other options on this page. Here you can sync travel plans in Outlook, Lotus Notes, iCal, and many other calendar systems, modify trip sharing and editing permissions, create trip URLs, and merge multiple trips. You can also share specific details of a trip by clicking on the Share button on this page. Let's take a look. You can share trips by sending an email, forwarding a link to your trip, or via one of TripIt's integrated social networks. Here I've taken the liberty of keying in a few of the trip sharing details for our example. We've shared this trip with my colleague Kim Meyer via email. I've typed in her email address, customized a note to her, and added a few options like giving her permission to edit my trip and adding her to my permanent network on TripIt. I've given Kim editing permissions as she may want to update or add agenda items for me. Then we just click the Share button. As soon as we share this trip, TripIt advises us that instead of sharing trips on a one-off basis, we should add our colleagues to our Inner Circle network, where trips could be automatically shared. Inner Circle is another TripIt Pro feature, like the Flight Stats feature we talked about earlier. It's a premium TripIt service you may want to consider if you want all of your trips shared or shared with editing permissions automatically, perfect in a travel arranger scenario. Since we just talked about the Inner Circle network, let's take a deeper dive into the network features in TripIt. Here you can see where your connections are traveling, either on an interactive map or in a calendar view. Connections can easily be established with other TripIt users. Click on Add Connection, and we can invite people automatically from either your email address book, LinkedIn network, or send individual emails. So what does a connection allow? It allows you to view profiles, subscribe to colleagues' activity feeds, and add your friends and colleagues' trip plans to your calendar. It's important to remember that when we say you can see your connections' trip plans, we're simply referring to their destination. You must specifically share trip detail and editing capabilities with colleagues to provide any additional access. You might have noticed another area in my network called Groups. A group is a way to connect with travelers in your company. They provide an overview of where people in your company are traveling to and give you a way to coordinate schedules and share travel resources. TripIt invites profiled users to a group based on their email domains. Then individuals choose to join or gather as a group. You can see I've joined the BCD Travel group. Here I can see my colleagues on the group map just as I could with each of my connections. Use the TripIt Group More link at the top of this page for more details on group access. Now that we've seen the different ways we can share our trip details, let's review the editing feature with a shared trip. We start by clicking on the home link. We now see a new category called Shared Trips, and the trips in this category are tagged with a Shared Trip, Owned By, and our colleague's name. Clicking on the Options link to the right of the trip or selecting the actual trip will give us the full editing menu. Just click on Add Plans, and we see the same properties and permissions as when we were reviewing our own trips. I can add a meeting, notes, directions, or a dining reservation, just as we previously discussed. Now back on the home page, just one more thing to share with you. It's the TripIt Apps page. This page shows you all the TripIt mobile and online applications it currently integrates with. This page is updated often, so don't forget to check regularly for new additions and updates. The choices are virtually endless to personalize your TripIt experience. Well, that's it. We hope this introduction to the TripIt and BCD Travel partnership is helpful to you and your colleagues. We encourage you to explore all of the features and applications that truly improve the corporate travel experience.